will be talking about the enduring 20-year plus relationship between Audrey Hepburn and Givenchy. This is such a beautiful relationship, and I'm excited to tell you more about it. And if you're excited as well, then stick around until the very end to see all that this video offers in regards to this brief history of their relationship. As history would tell it, quote, in 1953, Audrey Hepburn paid a visit to French couturier Hubert de Givenchy's studio in Paris to discuss the possibility of his designing the dresses for her film. Givenchy was, of course, expecting the more famous at the time, Katharine Hepburn, which, side note, was actually Audrey Hepburn's sister, who has more of that beautiful, sort of feminine look to her. Audrey is a little bit more quirky and cute. Back to the quote. Instead, what arrived in his studio was Audrey, who, according to his recollection, was, quote, inside quote, this is the second one, this very thin person with beautiful eyes, short hair, thick eyebrows, and very tiny trousers, ballerina shoes, and a little t-shirt. Side note, again, Audrey Hepburn did have very thick eyebrows, actually. Her eyebrows were probably contemporary for our times now, because if she was living in our times, people would be calling her eyebrows on fleek. That's how nice they are. On her head was a straw gondolier's hat with a red ribbon around it, end in quote. He declined her invitation to design for her, telling her, no, mademoiselle, I cannot dress you, end quote. But as history would have it, later she invited him to have dinner together, and he accepted, which at that point he fell for her beauty and her charms and everything about her. But, record scratch. I do not want you to think that they had a romantic relationship. That is false. They had a very platonic one. Givenchy isn't gay, I think, but I also can't tell if he is gay. I suspect he may not be gay because of the relationship he had with Audrey Hepburn, and I also suspect he's not gay because there's nothing ever mentioned about him, at least from what I could see. But he could be, for all I know, because if you haven't noticed already, there is a big trend of men who are into couture and high fashion who are gay. It's more common, and for good reason. It kind of makes sense based on social conventions, which is a shame. But all of our couturiers who are male, they're gay. Yves Saint Laurent, Alexander McQueen, Jean Galliano, and who could ever forget Karl Lagerfeld, the German designer himself, were all gay. Christian Dior, however, wasn't, I think. It's really interesting because it's so prevalent. If you're enjoying this video, then smash that like button if you haven't already, because I'm sure you wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't love couture. So why not give this video a like to boost it in the algorithm, because that's one of the only ways that we can spread it to other people. So I would really appreciate it if we could share this with more people. And to do that, you just gotta click a little button down there. And if you love couture, style, and analysis, aka CSA, then you'll want to like and subscribe and turn on the bell to get your weekly notifications of a CSA PSA hot off the press weekly. You'll want to subscribe because you won't want to miss the things we do related to fashion, fashion history, and couture on this channel. As their relationship blossomed, there were some things they said about each other as well, and they felt the same mutually about their relationship, and they were very close. Like this. Quote, Givenchy's clothes are the only ones I feel myself in. He is more than a designer. He is a creator of personality. Quoted by Audrey Hepburn. And Givenchy felt the same because he made a perfume, and when he did, he made her the muse and the face. The perfume was called L'Interdite in 1957, and he made her the face not because she was paid, but because he wanted it to be for her, which is so touching and so sweet. You see him designing all of these pieces for her in her movies and then dedicating all of these things for Audrey Hepburn. You can tell the man really truly cares for her in a sweet, sweet way. He's very kind and generous in this sense. He seems like a very charmed man. Now, I don't know their personal relationship about themselves and such, but it seems like he really did have a lot of respect for her and loved her a lot as a friend, which is something very interesting and something you don't really see very much, especially when you compare it to some other relationships that go on in the couture industry. Because around this time, I was reading about the relationships for Yves Saint Laurent and John Galliano and Alexander McQueen, and their lives are actually much more depressing than this beautiful story that they had. Compared to them, Jean Galliano and Alexander McQueen, I think, died. I know Alexander McQueen died due to depression. I can't remember if Jean Galliano died due to drug overdose, and Yves Saint Laurent was bullied when he was growing up. So, a lot less beautiful than this relationship Givenchy and Audrey Hepburn have. We also can't talk about the relationship between Audrey Hepburn and Givenchy without talking about the things that he made for her in her films, because she was an actress, she was a star. And Audrey Hepburn wore a Givenchy wedding dress designed by him in the film Funny Face in 1957. After that, Audrey Hepburn was Holly Golightly in the film Breakfast at Tiffany's in 1961. She was dressed in the most iconic Givenchy little black dress, eating a croissant casually in a pearl choker and a black satin evening dress. I'm not going to go into the details of the little black dress here. I talked about it in my previous video, the history of the little black dress and why Chanel didn't create it last video, and if you want to see more about that specifically and other little black dresses in history, you'll want to see the rest of this. As well, Audrey Hepburn was Reggie Lampert in the film Charade in 1963, and this was of course another classic Givenchy Hepburn combination. Hepburn also wore a Chantilly lace dress in How to Steal a Million in 1966, which I really do wish the movie actually taught you how to steal a million, but you know, we all can't be millionaires. That would be nice. But she requested he create a lace mask for her in that film, and he said, "Audrey, baby, I don't do masks." Kind of like an older brother telling his sister that I'm not going to do this for you just because you asked. But of course, he loves her so much as a sister. She's so cute. As a little sister, he has to give in. He gives her the candy that she asked for. So yeah, he gave in, and he ended up making a black lace mask for the dress too. The dress itself was a black lace dress, and he made a beautiful seductive lace mask to accompany it, and it's kind of sexy, and I think it adds character to the dress. The lace mask is definitely unique, and I think it was a good call on her part. He also did more than just dress Audrey Hepburn exclusively, of course. He also dressed many famous notable people during the time, such as Grace Kelly, Jackie Kennedy, and Elizabeth Taylor. She referred to him as her best friend, while he considered her his sister. So as you can see, very platonic. Nothing romantic here. After she died, he still has this wilted navy blue coat that she gave him. She told him before she died that when you are sad, wear this and it will give you courage. Even 20 years after her death, he still feels emotions for her and their friendship. And I feel like my voice is starting to choke a little here. It's so sad. He would say, quote, "From Geneva to Paris, I wept in the jacket she had given," end quote. Audrey Hepburn died in 1993, and Givenchy died in 2018, so that's 20 years after her death. And he died at the age of 91, which is incredible for a man, because most men do not live that long. I've only heard of women living that long usually, but it's so sad that he outlived her by 20 years, and even 20 years later, he still considers it to be one of his most enduring relationships and friendships in his life. If you loved hearing about this beautiful relationship of theirs as much as I did narrating this, then give this video a like for Hubert de Givenchy and Audrey Hepburn, so that I can spread via the algorithm to more people to find out about this as well, because it's not very well known, and the world should know about it. If you love couture, style, and analysis, aka CSA, then please go down and like and subscribe and turn on the bell to get your weekly notifications of a weekly CSA PSA. You'll want to subscribe because you won't want to miss the things we do on this channel related to fashion history, and couture. I'm your host Mimi, and until next time, bye!